His hair makes me think of Bon Jovi. Like, I feel like Zale would be a Bon Jovi fan.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Zale used to work on the docks.
Like, doesn't he? He looks...
Welcome back to the last story. All right, let's get medicine for Warren.
For Warren.
Warren. Let's get Warren's medicine.
Poor little sick Warren.
Oh.
He's gonna be a knight one day.
I'm gonna be a warrior one day.
Coughs
Just
up
like
blood.
you say. Oh, Jesus. No, we're not gonna get that medicine. We got
Sorry,
erected
Warren.
healers, sorcerers, berserkers.
You're gonna be the dead body at the start of the
Jesus,
battlefield.
Lord. Black magic circles or enemy heal circles. Okay. We'll probably have to disband that then, because we don't want those enemies to heal themselves. Yeah, this RPG doesn't have healing items.
Huh.
You heal by stepping into healing circles, which Marania will cast periodically.
She was like, come and get it while it's hot.
Come and get it! Hey everybody, I made gumbo!
Healing circles ready.
Boy, is she gonna be disappointed.
As though I was eating a full breakfast.
There we go. We got them. My healer's better than your healer. Da 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 da.
I just picture their healer somewhere in the background, like,
Well, he's dead, so.
well, he's dead, so. Yeah, I still just don't like the menu.
The menus?
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I'm slowly understanding it. What game would you say has a good menu?
I really enjoyed Trials of Mana's menu
Okay.
and Yee's. I like the menu.
You
that
do like
it's-
the ease menu?
It's also
I like
cohesive with the
Setsuna's
story.
more if it explained more of what the hell all this stuff was.
Yeah. But even like Yee's menu, it goes with the story because you're like opening the journal. So
That's
like
right,
you're opening
yeah.
Adol's journal and like flipping through everything that he's accumulated over his time on the island.
So if I hit plus, I can get its stats. Unmatched in close combat, but very weak to magic. Okay. Dun, dun, dun,
Doesn't
dun,
it look
dun,
like there's a
dun,
little
dun,
person
dun, dun.
like on the front of
Oh,
him
shit,
as
he
a
saw
big
me.
person?
Uh-oh. I wasn't able to sneak.
So like look, oh,
Where? Ah!
on the monster, it's like on his front. It looks like there's like a little version of him stuck to the front.
Oh, you mean his little stubby legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just his little legs, see? Ah! Here comes the cavalry. Help! Aw, cool. Ice circle. May my blade be infused with ice. There we go.
Yeah, I think overall the thing
Help!
that was hardest for me for this game was the actual gameplay. That it has like the shared buttons.
Yeah, it's very hectic.
yeah.
I will agree to that.
There was like
Like, there's a lot going on.
a lot of lights that I didn't know what they were for. Or like what was happening. I was very confused.
Well, also, like, you're only in control of Zale.
Yeah.
Your team's gonna do whatever the hell they feel like. You can
Yeah.
give them commands later on.
Which I did
But-
get to that point, and it was also very confusing.
Oh, okay. Well, they develop more of that as you go on, but
Okay.
yeah, eventually.
I may not have gotten in far enough to really like learn how to do it.
Because like the game's constantly throwing new things at you, but almost to a fault.
Yeah.
To where it's like, let me get comfortable with the last 4 things you
Yeah.
taught me, instead of like, okay, cool, this is a new feature.
Right.
Oh, so is this a new feature? I feel like I get it. Like, it's trying to throw a lot of things to keep it interesting,
Yeah, but it's
but it can
like,
also feel overwhelming. I can definitely
Yeah.
get that.
especially because you don't necessarily have the choice.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, they've learned a new skill. You can choose to equip that skill for them. No, they're just going to do it. And it's
Yeah.
like they do it automatically. So you don't have the choice to do it anyway. Like it was very confusing for me. Part of me likes that you can change the color of their costumes and stuff, but I also just don't necessarily think that it is necessary.
I think it's just an aesthetic.
Yeah, where you can like, collect the dye colors, like,
Yeah, change their colors if it really matters. It doesn't affect your stats.
Yeah.
It's just a visual aesthetic. Whereas, like, equipping the crescent moon, like, that affects my stats.
Right.
See, now I have a katana. Shing. All right, Zoran. Nowhere to run this time.
Still alive, pretty boy? A coward like you won't beat me. Why not save some time and surrender now? A coward? I prefer to call
Got enough swords, buddy?
I know.
It's like that dude from One Piece. That, like, dual wields and then has
Yeah.
a third sword in his teeth.
Wouldn't understand.
Well, I like the thing that I think we were watching it where it was like the long swords and stuff that people will like strap to their backs and hips and stuff. You wouldn't be able to do that because it's not enough. Like your arm isn't
room,
long
yeah.
enough to actually like pull the sword out of the sheath.
Look at this big boy. He's got a pet. They have a cave troll.
I've got a job to...
That's funny. All right, Terracor with some bandits. Okay. All right, so here's the strategy to take on the Terracor. Whee!
Yeah.
And he ping-pongs right into the wall. And the game's nice enough to give you a tutorial if you didn't get that.
Ask me how long it took me to play this part because it was a lot longer.
Oh, to understand what to do with this boss.
Than it should have been.
I think because, like, the game didn't tell you to, like, hug the wall, so you thought you just had to go up there.
Yeah.
But if you, like, crouch behind the wall, you get the slash ability.
Right.
And then you're able to, like, dash across and, like, ping-pong him into the wall where he'll get stuck, and you can slash at, like, his little stub tail. He has, like, a little stub of a tail, and that's his weak point.
Aww.
Yep.
It kind of looks like a chicken tail.
It looks like he covers it, too.
No, my tail.
So there he goes. He's going to dash around.
Ouch, my tail.
And there he's stuck in the wall.
No.
And now we just slash at it until he...
Slashing me bum.
slashing at your bum. And then when he pops back out, he's going to roll around.
I feel like Wesker does that move when I grab his
And
butt
we
cheeks.
repeat. Aww.
He's just like, no!
But see how I'm standing in that healing circle and my health starts to regenerate?
Yeah.
And that's how healing works in this game. No potions. Just locate the nearest circle and bloop, 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 bloop.
See, I do kind of also like in Ys if like you're low on health and you don't really have a lot of items and you can't find a save spot, which is really hard to do later in the game because you can just warp to a save spot.
Right.
You just stand in a field.
Yeah, that only happens outside though. You can't do that
you can't
in
do that like in a
dungeons.
cave or a dungeon.
So you have to be well
But if
prepared
you're,
when
like-
you go in a dungeon.
Yeah. So in a dungeon, you definitely want to make sure like your health is full for your team and that you have a couple items. But
I like how I just have to worry about the boss, Dagran. Anytime a bandit comes near, Dagran's like, "Get out of here!" Just
Get
swats
outta
them aside
here.
like your mother in the car.
what the fly
Get out
swatter?
of here! But there we go. We felled the Terracor. Woohoo! Killer Cutter +2.
I want to say it took me close to like 20 minutes.
There's some tricky bosses later on. All right, let's see.
I did
here.
find out though that
No,
I've been
no.
playing Ys for close to 47 hours.
Look at you.
Yeah.
That might
I'm
be one of
almost
your
done,
longest
yeah.
games.
I'm almost done. I'm in like the last chapter.
Well, that just affirms to me that Xenoblade Chronicles is longer. You want to know what my final time was
Oh,
for
Lord.
Xenoblade Chronicles?
What?
And again, I did do a lot of side stuff. Not all of it, but quite a bit. 82 hours.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I know like anyone else playing Ys, it's not going to take you that long. I get lost very easily and wander around
We'll find out when we see the final
and,
time
yeah.
on my playthrough.
in senseless places. So,
Because I believe Trials of Mana totaled at like 24 or 25 hours. I think that was even after I defeated Annis.
But plus, it'll be nice too because if you need help with Ys, I've already played it.
Yeah.
So I can be like, oh, do this or go here. Because even like the one level, the Castlevania E level that I was playing when you were watching, like I wandered around there for a while.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, oh, you'll just go to the top. Like,
Oh, there's a second floor. Well, now.
yeah.
All right, Zoran. Hand over that medicine. We took down your beastie.
Wait! Is it money? I'll give you all you want!
What a bitch.
Just let me live!
Maybe if you lose one of those swords, your pants won't fall down while you're trying to run.
I don't think his pants are falling down. He has denim thigh-high boots.
Oh.
Those are his shoes.
So he's just tripping over his shoes? Oh!
Take that, you awful man.
Oh, man, I have got to get me one of these! Marania just took him out with a frying pan. So when you were talking about the guy that showed you that you can't draw a sword because your arm's short, his name's Shad from Shadiversity.
Okay.
He also did a video that like a frying pan would actually be a very effective weapon in
I
combat.
feel like it would too. I definitely think that a frying pan would be a good weapon.
And it is a very fun video because he mentions like people see it as like gags, but like would it actually be a weapon? And like he goes and demonstrates. And
I mean, you've picked up our cast iron frying pan.
Yeah.
That thing is heavy.
and like that's the thing about swords too. They had weight to
Yeah.
them, especially a long sword. Like
Yeah.
there was weight with your swing.
Yeah.
When I grow up,
They weren't just something that you could like twirl and spin in your hand like you see in
Right.
these movies. There was weight with your swings.
I'm sure he'll be better in no time.
Like a short sword and a dagger, not so much.
Right.
Like there's a little bit of weight because like it is
I mean, it's still
an iron
metal,
sword.
yeah.
Yep. But long swords, like not just any schmo could easily swing a long sword.
Right.
It took like a
There was like for a
minus the pop in the shoulder.
for a short while there, I was doing like weekly writing prompts. Mainly because with work, I had a full-time job at the time. I didn't have
Check
time
this
to do
out.
it every day.
Break banana.
It's like, God damn it.
Woo!
Where were we at? But I was doing like weekly writing prompts of just like writing little short stories every week with a predetermined prompt from someone else.
Okay.
And one of them was like, you show up in Valhalla and all of the gods are arguing of whether or not you should be allowed in and you're only holding a spatula.
Oh.
Because it's like, the thing with Valhalla is like, if you die with a weapon in your hand, you go to Valhalla.
Oh.
Um,
I thought it was like a SpongeBob reference. He is the greatest
No.
fry cook.
No, so it's like, imagine like you died, quote, in battle, but you were only holding a spatula. Like, is that still considered a weapon? So it was like, that was the prompt.
Neat.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, those were fun. I should probably do those more.
So what were they like? They were just like challenges?
Yeah,
or
it was just,
exercises?
I mean, you can, they're exercises. So it's like, I have one that's a drawing exercise, a daily drawing task that I just haven't ever done. It's printed out,
Right.
it's in my desk. But it's just a prompt that you get. And it's like, write a short, kind of like the contest we saw. Like,
Okay.
write a short story between this many words and this many words using this sentence. Or they'll like prompt you and be like, okay, write a short story. Yeah, like the drawing task is like, what's to your left right now? Draw a picture of it. You know?
Okay. That'd be neat. That'd be a nice exercise. Because I know there's like a 30-day like voiceover exercise that's kind of
Yeah.
similar to that. It's just like, do an ad. Just pick an ad off the internet and do the voiceover of that ad. Do a character. Do a
I
villain.
think that it is a really good exercise that just flexes your skill sets for multiple things. And I'd really like to start doing them more, but it's just setting aside the time,
Yeah.
like making it a priority in my day, you know, to do it.
I really like this part coming up. Visually, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Before returning home, Lisa convinced Zale to visit the place so special to her.
It's very
And
pretty.
so together,
Yep, this is Stargazer's Tower.
Stargazer's Tower.
This is one of the cutscenes I hate, though,
Really?
because you have to find it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't just auto cutscene. It like gives you a minute where you have to like run around the tower, and then you gotta try and find the right spot that triggers the cutscene.
Well, I don't think you should touch that without gloves, lady. Gave poor Warren the vid. He said like, "Oh, this white stuff was floating in the air, and then I felt sick." And she just
I said it was
palm,
asbestos.
Isn't this pretty? Just inhaled asbestos.
Do you wanna build a snowman?
Don't you think this is nice, Zale? Just give it a nice whiff. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because she's
so
like
it's
pointing
like-
at the statue, and you gotta like find the correct statue.
Yeah, well, you have to like go to the right spot to trigger another cutscene. And I'm like, you don't really do anything but find the right spot. So like, why not just have one long cutscene?
This is one of those games, like, I shot you a glare the first time you said it, that, like, it's more story than game. But this is kind of one of those games that kind of, like, railroads you into the next plot.
Yeah.
To where, like, there's a little bit of gameplay, but for the most part, the story's dragging you along.
Yeah.
Whether
See,
you
whereas like
wanna
if it's like that, where like they have this
explore or not.
moment and she's explaining and like shows him the asbestos and like, and then he has to just like run like a meter and then just trigger the next cutscene. I
Okay.
don't think I like that.
Gotcha.
I would much rather it be one long cutscene, okay, play, one long cutscene, okay, play.
Yeah.
I don't like that you have to find the right spot in between cutscenes
Yeah.
to like make the next one happen.
Because it also feels awkward.
Yeah.
Because, like, the conversation
definitely-
just drops.
Yeah, it definitely
and then
breaks
you
the
move,
flow.
And then the conversation continues.
Whereas I'm like, why wouldn't they just have one long thing?
So now we're going to find her lucky star. Find the goddess statue to the left.
You know, I really hate to tell you there, Lisa. Most stars you're seeing are already dead.
Then look for the blue star she's pointing to. Ding.
If you ever do that to me, I'm gonna punch you in the throat. Just walk outside and point to a starry sky and be like, that star right there is my lucky star. Like, son of a bitch, I'm
Yes,
gonna
that's
kill
it.
you.
They call it the twin swans.
Isn't that too
There we go.
I am not an astronomer. I don't know what star you're pointing at.
That's my lucky star.
That's my lucky star right there. Just points at a starry sky.
That star represents someone who's kind to everyone, but a tiny
That
bit
little
obsessed.
shooting star thing kind of looked like an eye floaty.
It wasn't. But I could see where you got that idea from.
I don't know
Getting
why,
hungry.
but I've suddenly
Either that or digesting.
Yeah, maybe you were hungry.
Maybe. Come on, leave a tender moment alone. Because now she remembers the main theme of the game.
Ugh.
The music's by Nobuo Uematsu. He's Final Fantasy's composer. It was interesting that the director left and he was able to still get the composer to
Yeah.
continue composing for some of his games later on. I don't know if he
Okay.
still does. But Nobuo Uematsu's music was a big part of Final Fantasy for a while. And then I think after 12, he kind of branched out and did other things and is not always the Final Fantasy composer.
Yeah.
So he kind of stopped doing Final Fantasy, I think, one game or maybe 2 games after Sakaguchi left, who was the initial director of Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And like I explained many times, like when the director left, I was like, all right,
Yeah,
that's my time to
time to
go.
go.
Because I played 1 or 2 games after just to see like how much of a difference it made.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like night and day. I was like, nope, this isn't why I got on board.
Well, I feel like that
You
definitely
guys
has
have your
like
fun.
a big thing.
It has its audience, but I'm not one of it.
I
I've
think-
given it too many shots.
I definitely think the directors and such have such a massive part to play in all types of media
Mm-hmm.
because it's the same as like Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan.
Yet you like the movie more than me.
I did like them. So Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the one we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I did like it more, but the parts that I didn't like, you were like, yeah, that's standard Raimi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does that in all his movies. And I'm just like, oh. And then you were like, he directed
The Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Yep.
movies. And I'm like, those, I hated them. I hated them.
Mm.
And it just like all clicked into place. From like, oh, maybe I just don't much care for his direction, which is fine because like people love it either way.
So
which
now
is
I have
great.
a moment here. Do I talk to her or do I touch her?
Don't touch her! Don't do it! It's a trap! Why is that even an option? Do I talk to her or do I just go touch her?
Just give her a little touch.
I know that it was like, touch the shoulder or something, but could you just imagine her face if that was like a real life situation of like, I'm in danger? Like,
I've known you for a day.
I know.
But remember that choice.
She just
'cause
judo flips him.
We're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Why a knight of all things?
So as I said, like, we're going to get the most of Zale in this part and a little bit of Lisa.
Yeah.
And then in future parts, we're going to get more of the other characters. But this is basically Zale's character.
Right. Don't touch her, Zale.
Touch
Third
nothing
date.
but the lamp!
Third date!
What's your dream?
It's
Oh, I don't know.
his hair
I
makes
guess
me
I'd
think
like
of
to
Bon
travel the
Jovi.
world.
Like, I feel like Zale would be a Bon Jovi fan.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
My own life.
Zale used to work on the docks.
Like, doesn't he? He looks like he'd listen to Bon Jovi.
Whereas Dagrin, wanted, dead or alive.
Pretty much.
Well,
What's her face just listens to the Sex Pistols on repeat.
I know that the world isn't all good. I understand that. But I want to see the world for what it is. Good.
The goth healer girl I picture is just like Alanis
I
Morissette.
don't want to be ignorant. Zale,
For some reason, I think of the Cranberries with Maranya. Do you
Maybe.
have to let it linger?
Yeah, I
Do
could
you
see
have
that.
to? Do you have to let it linger?
The one that just like hates everyone. I don't even remember his name because I cared.
Yurik?
Yeah, because I cared that little about him. I picture he just puts on ambient noises. Like there's no actual music. He's just like, birds chirping sounds nice today. Like
I had you going.
just white noise in the background.
Lisa?
Oh, I just wanted to say it. I'll go straight home, like I promised, so don't you worry. Thank you so much for today.
Time to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Lisa disappeared into the hustle and bustle of the city. Zale stood and watched as she walked away.
The one that walked away.
Because you don't want to touch her.
Wonderful tale had come to an end.
We didn't touch her, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty sure if you select touch her, he goes right when, because she turns around right when
Oh,
you're
he,
about
like-
to touch her. Because I
okay.
tried it just to see what happens.
Okay.
And he goes,
Like, I wasn't going to touch you.
well,
Like I said, I'm sure it wasn't going to be like bad touch.
no.
But like, it's just as an option, not like grab shoulder or like touch her. Don't do it.
She went
This
wrong.
asshole.
See, part of me feels like this is going to be your fairy tale, whereas early on, because like when I first saw fairy
Yeah.
tale, I'm like, I don't like any of these guys.
Yeah.
And
I
now
mean,
I'm
I
just
like
like, I'll
Zale.
take a bullet for fucking Natsu. Or Gray.
Yeah,
Gray's like the new Vegeta.
yeah.
What's your
I think
story?
Gray and Urza are my favorite.
I feel sorry for her.
I like Gray.
Yeah.
I like Urza. I also like the Iron guy. I forget. Gajiel.
Yeah,
I
Gajiel.
really like Gajiel.
I like him when he's like, I want a magic flying cat. Like he's upset because he doesn't have a magic flying cat.
So like there is a part of me that holds on to like this might be your fairy tale.
I'm not like I'm definitely open to it.
To where by the end you're gonna be like, God
I'm not
damn it,
at the
lol.
point where I'm just like, ugh. I mean, I do feel very ugh, just
I know
because
you do.
of like, I'm so content overloaded right now
Mm-hmm.
with like
Come here to play around.
the innuendos and drinking and sex and just
Yeah.
all of this just shoved down my throat at every given moment and everything that's being consumed today.
Well, it's setting a tone
That
that,
I'm
like there
just
is no
like-
light in this world. Everything's shit. Very similar to Westeros in that sense.
But I even stopped watching Game of Thrones because I just couldn't take it anymore. It's just so overwhelming.
This one doesn't go on as long as Westeros.
And it's just like, And I mean, I kind of spilled my guts in the first episode here, but like I just couldn't get past it. I'm like, okay, I've been playing for several hours and just like Zale is the only character I can stomach. And it's like everyone else I just fucking hate and don't get to do anything with them anyway.
Okay.
Like so I don't, unless they're like
about
actual
Lisa?
I did like Lisa.
You did like Lisa?
I was annoyed
Okay.
by Lisa that I couldn't make her run faster in the one sequence, but I did like Lisa.
Okay.
I'm sick of fighting those lizard things.
We're doing guard duty at Lazarus Castle. A bit more
But
appealing, eh?
I'm open to like growing on these characters. I just hope that they do
Invited all the
grow.
city's
Okay.
rich and powerful, and they don't have the manpower to cover it.
I bet there'll be some classy drinks on offer.
I'll be very surprised if you end up liking Seren.
I
Out of all
I
of
don't
them.
think I will.
Like, she does grow, but, like, I don't remember it being, like, phenomenal.
I feel like she's just gonna be like, I have daddy issues, and that's why I drink and fuck everything. Like, okay, cool. Like, you can just die in battle already.
I wonder if the castle has a library. I do love visiting libraries, but I suspect I wouldn't be allowed.
A ball, eh? Sounds fun. No one will mind if I take a few little hors d'oeuvres, right?
Guard duty? Sounds boring. Hopefully I can just stand outside on my own.
Oh, come, Yorick. Do something with a little more bounce into it. Was that everyone? What about the barkeep?
Zale, I made something good for lunch. Here.
Oh, she packed me a
Don't
lunch.
have to eat it right
Cute.
away. but when you
Ariela's
do,
handmade
tell me
lunch.
how it is. And don't let Mirania get her hands on it. She'll scoff the lot. She asked so nicely. Then I gave her one.
It was
And
bad.
it was bad.
Ah, so that's how Mirania works. She's politely like, excuse me, can I have a sandwich? Can I have another? How about another? Would it trouble you to make just one more sandwich? I know I said would it trouble you to make one more sandwich, but could you just make another?
My God, she's like the bad customers that I get at work that I'm not going to say their name on air because that's rude, and I would never do that. But I know you know which ones I'm talking about.
I have an idea.
Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have more? Can I have this? Can you do that? Can you cut it in half? Like, I turn into the Exorcist. Like,
Ah,
my head spins 360. Like, no.
a lump of copper. Wonder if those are like materials that I upgrade my equipment with, or...
You and me are both outsiders in the city. Just have to live.
That's the spirit. All right, so our mission is guard duty at the castle, and we're going to do that in the next part as we move into the next chapter.
Yeah, because I think that's where I actually stopped.
Oh,
It's right. I still played from here, but
okay.
I have a feeling that the next part
Will be the last.
is where I
Okay.
took my break.
All right, then. So we'll see you guys in the next part, and then after, we'll give you guys the option, did she play long enough?
Yeah.
Or should
I'd
she
love,
play more?
I'd love to know.
All right.
So,
Well, that's a nice outfit. She looks good with the scarf.
should look better in a coffin, but
Ah! All right.
all right.
That's enough.
Toodles!